Welcome to the reading vlog for Disquiet Gods. Yes, that. These first clips that you will see are actually cannibalized from another reading vlog that I had planned to, have up, but I had never edited it, and now the time is just gone. So this is where I was reading started Dregs of Empire, and we're following Lorien, which I'm so happy that we're getting to see what happened to Lorien after book 5. And yes, he got arrested for his part in what happened. And he talks about it and saying, he sacrificed himself, but Hadrian's worth it. And he only made his own situation worse at his trial when he said, and the charges they listed out, and he told them, well, which is it? Did I help him escape or did I kidnap him? You need to pick one. And he admits in his mind that he's like, I know I made the situation worse. Mother always said that my mouth was going to get me in trouble. So I'm nervous to see where this goes, but also excited because I have very much enjoyed Lorien through the past several books and his type of character. But Dregs of Empire, I'm maybe a quarter of the way through. I didn't actually get to listen to much yesterday because my kids wanted me to play games and stuff with them, so we did that. And they prefer more that I listen to them talk than listen to my book while we do that. So. But I've been listening to it this morning, and oh my gosh, Felicia is horrible. And I feel so bad for Lorien. And we don't know how much time has really passed. No one will tell him. It's interesting that the prisoners who have been there for a while, though, don't really believe in Hadrian. Like, they've heard of him, but they think it's mostly propaganda. So that's interesting because most of the common people that they have seen around the galaxy at other planets, the legend of the half-mortal, and they're normally in awe and stuff. That was interesting, and people are just generally horrible. And there is this myth kind of on Volusia, though, of people who are not part of the prison camps, even though the planet is inhospitable. There's a myth that people are I think they call them outworlders, that people who escaped and fought off the Martians and have their own communities, and nobody really believes in them. But yet one of the crews come back and they had a girl with them. That, of course, was horrible, and she died. But she said she was sold to them before she died to Lorien when he'd found her in a locker. So how do they live on this ice planet, and how does it that the tribunal and the people in charge don't care? Well, it is a prison planet and they have no way off, so I guess that's why they don't care. It's just a little odd. It's just a little odd. I don't know. But Lorien was punished for enacting justice. Yeah, and he had to be sent to another harsher job site. And he's been there at least for 7 years at the point I am now. And that's, still 75% of the book to go. But I'm going to go try to edit the TBR video probably. Yeah, I really hope that the AC thing is not too loud to scrap this clip, but I wanted to do my thoughts as I just finished Dregs of Empire. It's 11 o'clock and the cat's circling the door. She went out, she came in, not the way, tired. It did not end how I thought it was gonna end, and I was so happy to see Lorien, and then I started to be so sad that I was seeing Lorien, especially as he was losing faith in Hadrian, I think. And I know, and he's got to know that what he heard was a lie. Kind of like Hadrian had to know some of the things might be lies in book 4. Then I read Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 3 because I'm totally going in the order that Ruocchio said, how to read it, canon, whatever, before finally diving into Disquiet. So far though, even though this is supposed to be the Disquiet Gods vlog, I'm still on Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 3. I've read the first 2 stories, and gosh, they're both kind of sad. I mean, okay, most of the Sun Eater is not bright happy, sure, but man, those are both kind of sad. The first one is following Octavia Corvo, called After the Feast. So it's her left alone on Acterumo, right? In the Tamerlane, and I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but yet, yeah. And
she's a fighter, and she, you finally find out for sure she is a homunculus, and why she was created. Like, she knows why she was created. She was specially built for war and battle, and she took out a lot. Okay, not like as much as she took out when she was shooting them before Hadrian escaped, but just her thought process and her fighting to the bitter end, and it was wonderful. I wish she had a better end, kind of, but she went down fighting, and that's what she wanted. So, and then the second one, we are following I don't even know. I guess it's not even a homunculus. It's mostly an android, but it had a human consciousness. However, because of where it was made, it thought its purpose was something else, so it went on a murderous rampage, only to find out that while everything else made there was for that purpose, she was not. She was made because her original body had died when they tried to kill her father. But when she'd found out this bad information, it kind of broke the mind mesh that was happening, and so she had a split personality, one of an actual android who thought all of the memories were fakes and planted to give her a fake personality, and the real personality that was trying to shine through, and she also died. So there's that. And it's about halfway through, and I think there's supposed to be 7 stories though. That was 2, and I'm almost halfway through the thing, and hopefully I'll finish that today, but I have a lot of editing to do, and I need to start Disquiet Gods. I do.
Oops. Short update too, because I haven't read since about this time yesterday, when I finished one more of the Tales of the Sun Eater, and it's like a parable story for princes about telling them how to be good princes and how to serve their people, and it was a good story. But I decided to try to repair something at home last night instead of editing a video, because I'd been working on a video, and then I decided to do this, and it didn't go well, and that just was a whole mental spiral. It's like, well, I should have been editing a video instead, or I should have been reading. And so for the rest of the night, I didn't do either of those things. I didn't edit the video, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna put it up now because it's so late, and I didn't read, and that made me feel bad, and then just doom spiraling. But I did a lot of studying this morning, and I studied, and I got the trackers finally put up on Pinterest and Instagram. That's just the general monthly ones that I've been wanting to do for a minute, and I hadn't. And then I finished editing the video, and it'll go up later today. It's still later than I wanted it to, but yeah. Okay, so that's today's update. Yay. I have actually managed to read two more stories. Yes, go me. Reading today. The first one happened right after we met the Seals, and when we took their world ship that I cannot pronounce what Cassian Powers named it. And apparently it had one of those relics on it. And this is, I guess, right. No, Hapsis had probably already happened. But Hapsis had to be called in because somebody touched the relic. And they started like splitting at the molecular level. Separate bodies. Again and again. And they couldn't control it. And they didn't even remember it. And yeah, that was something. So that was something. And then this one took place like only 3,000 years after the Scythian Empire started, where the threat of the Americani was still so big and around. And I really hope you can't hear the fan over the stove making dinner, and I just finished it, so I was like, oh my god, because that was so cool. We're in the past. And they met an American, and like you can't understand the English, the Americans speaking the old English and the way they typed it in the book, and it's like, oh my gosh. I don't even know what everything he last said was. I think I might go back and try to figure it out. But they just knew his last words were, he's American. And then I'm pretty sure they shot him because they think he's Americani. It had been a colony ship. And he is part, he looks kind of like an extra, he's got the special eyes and like a thing on the side of his head, like machine bits. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they shot him. And this is way in the past anyway. So it was just cool. It's a bit of history thing. I think 2 stories to go. The next one's like estimated time is 40 minutes, so I know I can't read it before dinner, so I'm probably not even gonna try. I think this is also gonna be about the extras, like actually about the extras, not like something old. And then, yeah, I think we're going to get to the story that I think has the same person as the cover. And then maybe I can start Disquiet Gods tomorrow. And I'll try not to update again until I'm done with all of it. But I just thought that last story was really, really cool. Because he's like a living piece of history. And they're about to kill him.
And yesterday, I actually did start Disquiet Gods. Yay me. And now I feel that I want to go back, though, to that last story from Tales of the Sun Eater and look something up. Because I feel like something doesn't line up with her. Mostly her eye color. That was the only thing. When it mentioned her eye color, I'm like, wait, didn't it say she had violet eyes like Hadrian? I don't know. But I know who's on the cover now. It is Cassandra, Hadrian's daughter. And he will not hear her called a bastard because she's not an Intis. She was made, you know, from his and Valka's phylacteries. And she was made in Jad. And the way they do it is exactly like how the High College does it. So she's perfectly made. Yeah, she's not going to be like any of the other Mistborn. But being in the Empire, of course, anybody he comes across will question her as an Intis. And Cassandra is awesome. She really is. She is so strong. And I feel like she's going to be just as quick-witted. But we haven't really been able to see that yet. Where I am, because I'm already 100 pages in now, it started on Jad. And somebody from the Empire came. And they introduced themselves as, how do you pronounce his first name? Something like Eduardo, I think. Albay. And it didn't click at first. It did not click. And I'm like, that's vaguely familiar. And it took hearing it a few times. And I'm like, oh, John Luis from The Lesser Devil. And he's from Delos. And he is his great something. Because he said his family's been serving Crispin for 5 generations. And then there's a message from Crispin. But he came with Sir Friedrich Oberlin as a part of a Hapsis team to recruit Hadrian. And they actually tell him that he had been supposed to take over as the lead of Hapsis. So it's like, why? At the end of the last one, I was like, why in the world, if Hapsis was a thing, why was Hadrian never a part of Hapsis instead of, you know, letting him run around? Apparently the plan was for him partly to be, because Cassian Powers had used to be the head. I remember Cassian had approached Hadrian in one of the earlier books about replacing him somewhere. And Hadrian just thought it was on the council, and he's like, I don't want to. I don't want to be tied down. So now Oberlin is instead. And they're kind of using Hadrian to draw out a watcher, because they know how to kill one. And so now they are on this far out planet where they have found ruins. And they have found recent evidence of one. And so they're trying to draw it out using Hadrian. And when Hadrian left Jad, though, Cassandra went with him because he's like, I can't leave her. But now that they're on the planet, he's like, I really wish I could have left her. Because I don't want to put her in danger. Hadrian only went, though, because of Cassandra. Because of the Quiet. And they said, if you don't go, she will be in danger. I'm like, are they threatening him? And now Hadrian's also starting to question, is the Quiet actually a watcher? Like, is it one of these horrible beasts? As we know that they're like on higher dimensions and planes and stuff like that. So lots of questions. Super nervous with the reading of this one. Like, I'm only slowly going through it because I'm nervous. And so Mom was like, I'm going to start Way of Kings. They're talking about that in the Discord. And I'm like, why am I saying this? I'm in the middle of this one. I should focus on this one. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous right now. Good morning. We have made it about a third of the way through. And wow, with the information. And some action now. And some action. Let's start with Hadrian himself and how different he feels in this book. Yes, he keeps describing himself as an old man. And at, 600 something standard, he is kind of old. He doesn't move the same as he used to, but he's still very strong, and his palantineness is like a 50-year-old. So, there's that. And he and Cassandra have left out with Hapsis. I think I talked about that in the last clip, maybe. And he's found out about the monumentals, about the fact that they had found something after Second Crest Guard, about so much stuff. And now at this point, they've been on nope, for like a year, I think, as they have been excavating this site of another thing I can't think today, where the Vitaru or the Anar had a civilization. They had a grand city there and a temple built to a monumental. And at the point I've made it to, we've also found out that this monumental is called Ushara. And it presents itself as feminine. It tried to persuade Hadrian to help her get off the planet and join with her, and she would make him emperor of all creations of the universe for millennia, like tens of millions of years. And he's like, I'm already old. I don't want to keep going. Thank you. I do not want to. And Hapsis had a weapon, but it got to kill the monumental, and that's the whole reason they brought Hadrian there, was to draw her out so they could kill it, so the Cielsen wouldn't get the monumental to be a weapon on their side. But of course they were betrayed, and I don't understand Hadrian. He's been in jail a long time. He's been out of it a long time. But he always seemed more of a skeptic than this to me. And the person he thought had done something and betrayed them, he suspected them. And then immediately, because the person looked like they were showing horror at what had happened and sadness, he's like, how could I have assumed that? Really? They are still the most logical suspect. And of course, that was kind of who it was. And in this book, Hadrian is able to use his ability like super well again. He's using it a lot to save himself and save Cassandra. I don't think he's used it in a few hundred years, but he can just use it so well. So why wouldn't the Quiet have let him use it so much but before? Why? Because those things must be. I really think that Hadrian could have still Hadrian would have still been fighting in this like most expedient way. Hadrian would have still been fighting hundreds of years before. It's very, very crazy. And it's a lot. A lot has been thrown into this first 250 something pages. And Ushara's feelings that she shared with Hadrian is like this sadness of being abandoned on this planet, being trapped on this planet. And it was weird. And how she's talking about how Udinash seemed to have created humanity, and why were her and her brothers created to serve. And yet Hadrian and these people would be raised up and so esteemed. What are we getting at here? I don't know. We have a long drive today, though. Kind of long drive, as we are going to the McWayne Science Center of Birmingham for one of my daughter's friends' birthday parties. So me and my son are going as well, and we're gonna do stuff and just kind of follow the party around, I guess. Or he'll do stuff, I don't know. But I get to listen to the book though for the whole drive, and he'll do whatever he wants to do while we're driving. And so yeah, that's at least 4 hours of listening time. Make another good chunk of progress in the book today. As crazy things are happening. Crazy things are happening. Okay, that was probably a really long Babel update. Fastest update ever, because apparently I have a problem with charging batteries. I did not get as much reading done yesterday in the car as I wanted to, because the headphone it didn't sound very loud, so it was very hard to hear sometimes. Things went a little crazy. Things we found out. So there's a little bit of a Shar that was kind of left with Hadrian. When he expelled her, she did escape from the planet on one of the Minos wizards as they transported their brain. She hopped a ride with him. So the Cielsen do kind of have her as far as, the Empire is concerned. I don't think that's going to work well for them, but And the little bit that is with her is like, of her that's with Hadrian was super excited that, yay, I got off this planet. But the weirdest part, Hadrian and Cassandra had the Iron Out Forum they thought that was the best place to be able to contact the emperor and let him know. And they're having this ceremony, kind of. The Chantry is doing this offering and ceremony because they're going to have a big coalition meeting thing of like the biggest thing that we've ever done, of all the different humanities coming together, leaders. So the Jadians, the Normans, the Tavrosi, obviously the emperor and his people, and maybe even the extras. So like all of these are coming together to try to come up with a plan for humans against Cielson and against the Lotharians that are a threat. And, you know, some of them want to be against the extras too. But at this ceremony, Hadrian, you know, got disturbed by the sacrificey part because it reminded him too much of the Cielson and his time on and nope, it's gone. It reminded him too much of that. So he left and he was looking at the statues of like how, you know, time and fortitude and death. And it reminded him like this is how Ashara looked. And something in her told him this is because we influenced. It's like she was so happy again to see that what they had influenced of humanity had still come back through the ages. And I'm like, what? So that's why she looked like a human? Because they did know about humans? As their people were like killing everything in the universe that was intelligent. We were so small, we were insignificant. And yet, she knew, the Watchers knew about us. And almost the way it sounds, which I kind of hope this isn't the way it's going to go, because I don't want it to be, but that Ushara, Disquiet itself, created the Watchers, the Monumentals. And if they are the ones that like influenced humanity and like created these offshoot parts of religion and evil and, you know, the sacrificey things and darkness and whatever, and corrupted us, it sounds like the Quiet is the god of, you know, what they consider the Catholics and stuff. And then the Watchers are bad angels. I don't want that to be it, but it really does. Okay, I need to move on. We didn't have a lot of space. I think I might already be out of time. I wanted to finish the book so bad today. And I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the book today. I don't think I have enough reading time. I don't think I have 11 hours of reading time. But that has been my quick update. And when I have more battery in the memory card, we will do another one. Maybe a better one. More thoughts. Things. Yes. I almost dropped the laundry, but I have to update now. Lorian just got there. Lorian just appeared in book 6. I am so happy. He's alive. He's in it. Well, really, I guess this is the only realistic place he could have gone. And Hadrian is so shocked, and yet he's happy, and they better have their moment. But then a Chantry person just cornered Hadrian, and the guards, of course, did nothing. This is a different sect of the Chantry, the one that does the things, the investigative schooly things. Oh my gosh. I am not done with the book, but I'm so close. I think the audiobook says it's got like 5-ish hours left. And as you can tell, I've been more audio than physically because I have not been tabbing. And I've thought of stuff that I should tab, but I don't go tab it right when I think of it. And then, but wow, at all the things. We have definitely delved more into the slightly fantastical metaphysicalness than science fiction at this point. And I don't understand Hadrian's reticence, I think that's the right word, reservations to what Edward is saying about, well, I now believe your Quiet is even more my God. That they are one and the same. And Hadrian's like, no. But why, Hadrian? You know that the Monumentals influence humans. You know that the same way that they have influenced the Cielson. You can see the similarities in our statues and our lores. But I don't think he knows the lore exactly of the Museum Catholics. I don't think he knows how much that lines up. But Albe is like, now after hearing Hadrian's most recent miraculous return from death, he is on board that this is my God. This is the same person, no matter what you say. It is. because I think the last time we updated, Lorian had entered this scene, and yeah, even though Hadrian had been slightly distrustful of something because the Chantry head's like, what? Lorian wants atomics. The Normans, like the one he represents, the monarch, wants atomics. We think you're in line with him, even though they hadn't seen each other in centuries, and they wouldn't believe that. And that did shake Hadrian. But as soon as Hadrian knew what the Chantry had done, he had told Nima and Selene, find Lorian, trust Lorian. And Lorian did. He saved them for his friendship with Hadrian. He saved Cassandra. Selene saved part of them because, you know, the Martians wouldn't fire on their ship because Selene was aboard. So now everybody believes they've kidnapped the princess, but they are now on Ledathrad, I think that's the planet name, the monarch's planet that we saw previously in one of the short stories in Tales of the Sun Eater. And it has changed, though. It's changed, and it is beautiful. This creation of man for man. And yes, there's some extras, you know, people are slightly augmented, but not in like the crazy ways. Mostly it seems it's more like in the ways that Lorian received help. Like he got slightly a gene therapy, I suppose, where now his bones are better, he's healthier. He has black in his veins, which is weird, but you know. Okay, I'm gonna go because I need to get dressed and go to the post office. Yes. Okay, I finished it. I did it. I pulled through. I don't know how to feel. And we have to wait a whole year. I have to wait a whole year. And I don't understand. I don't understand. It was a machine. It was a machine made out of people, but how does it do that? And then, so were the Americani not thinking for themselves? Also not, you know, the important questions of the thing, of course, but it said there was memories of, and they called them the rebels, and they bombed the planet, and they created the empire. And Karn Sagara was like, they're not. Of course they were being controlled. They weren't just, and they used sick people apparently, partially, to be, I don't know. It sounds wrong. It seems wrong. The planet's, you know, pyramids, colonies, full of just entombed peoples. Okay, that's their running feet as he wants me to finish, so he can go back to his One Piece. Okay, we're gonna finish this tomorrow. After several hours to think about it. As you can see, it's clearly the next day, and I'm about to try to film the mostly spoiler-free review for this. I don't know if I'm prepared, so maybe I scrap that, you know. If you've seen both videos, you can, you'll know, and comment and say haha with me for brain thinking, because I haven't actually written the reviews, like typed it yet. But I want to try to do it today. That way I can watch it and watch myself and think about, is I'm saying it right? Is this sounding good? Will this convey the information? Yeah, that's my thought process. And you know, then I will have brain dumped it too. Well, not fully brain dumped it. I mean, this is an intense series. You can't brain dump it, but be able to try to move on to the voice of war that I should be starting today, and I still have not. Okay, so Carpile though said this is a 4.5. And I feel bad, but yeah, okay, it's not a 5. There was too much, so it's not a 5, but I don't think it's a 4.5 either. That's why I would have had that 4.75 before. Because there was some things that I was like, don't like, not sure. Okay. But we will end the vlog here so I can go film the review and then go get my kid. Because half days at reading camp. I hope you guys are having an awesome day and that you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe. Maybe somebody will even click on this one. Bye y'all.